Welcome and welcome back, everybody. I'm Jem. This is my creative space and bit of a special video today. I'm on the one hand really excited, on the other hand just a little bit nervous, and I'll tell you for why. I'm really excited, and this is a bit of a special video. This is a video to celebrate hitting that 1,000 subscriber mark, which happened last week. And I'm blown away. I really am. I'm not going to say too much more right now. I might tell you a little bit more as I'm crafting through this video. But yeah, just to say a huge thank you to all of you who've subscribed, and those of you who've been following along for a while, and welcome to all the newbies out there. So that I'm really excited about that. And on the other hand, I'm a little bit nervous today because I've done something new for the very first time. That doesn't make sense, does it? Because if it wasn't new, it wouldn't be the first time. Anyway, you know what I mean. I've done something different, done something I haven't done before. I have produced my first little digital kit. And I've set up an Etsy shop where you will be able to get this. And to celebrate reaching 1,000 subscriber mark and to say thank you to all of you, this kit's going to be completely free. This is a freebie just for you. So if you like what you see me doing today, you can pop over to the Etsy shop, which will be linked below. And hopefully, if I've done everything right, you should be able to download that and make your own. Now, if it hasn't worked, please let me know. Please be gentle with me. It's the first thing. Technically, I'm not a huge whiz, technically. It's a bit of a steep learning curve. So I'm hoping that it's all gone okay. So what are we going to do? Well, I've designed this little folio kit. And because I'm here in New Zealand, I wanted this to have a New Zealand theme. And I was thinking about, because we're sort of heading into our winter right now, but I know a lot of you as my viewers are in the Northern Hemisphere, so that's kind of, you know, I didn't want to do something not appropriate. Anyway, what I chose was a design, and this background design here is actually done from a photograph that I took, and this is our native ferns in New Zealand. And then this is our beautiful ko-fi flower. And these are absolutely beautiful. As this picture describes, they hang down. And these flowers have nectar in them. And they are visited, let me just show you, by our beautiful tui. So this is a tui. It's also known in some places as the parson bird because it has this little white bobble of feathers at its throat. So now our tui has the most beautiful song. I think it's one of the very few birds in the world that has a special voice box, and there's something special about it, and it can make all sorts of different noises. They can actually mimic as well. We had one in the garden a few years ago that mimicked the first ring of our telephone, which was incredibly irritating because you'd start running across to the office to answer the phone and it wasn't the phone. But anyway, they're very clever birds and they're beautiful. Now, I've designed these to look like watercolours, but in real life, the tui is beautiful. It's iridescent. It has green, black, blue feathers, and they shine in the light. So they're very beautiful birds. But anyway, they're nectar eaters. And so we quite often see them on the ko-fi flowers, and they're dipping their beak in to get the nectar. So I thought we'd go with a little New Zealand theme. It's quite a simple folio to put together. You've got lots of choices about what to do. And in fact, I think I have included enough pockets and things that if you print the folio twice and the ephemera once, you've probably got enough for 2 kits. Anyway, let's have a quick look. So we've got the outside of the folio. Now I've printed onto it's about 160 GSM card, and I've printed everything in onto that except this one. Now this one I have printed onto printer paper, and this is going to be the inside of the folio. Now if you're smart and you've got a clever printer, you can probably print these back to back and you won't have to do the extra one. I've chosen to do it separately so that if you don't have that type of printer, you can still make this, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So we have a folio and the lining of our folio, and then we have choices of pockets. These are some tags and some little circles here, and I'll show you what I'm going to do with those in a moment. Some more pockets and some more tags and labels, bits and pieces. We've got some little ticket shaped ones here. So as I say, first time I've created a kit, kind of went to town, got really excited, but it's given you lots of choice. Okay, so once you've downloaded and printed it, obviously the next thing you need to do is to cut it out, score all your pockets, and if you like inked edges, I would suggest you ink everything up as well. Now I've already done all of that because you don't need to see me doing that. All right, I've just zoomed out a little bit, so hopefully you can see what I'm doing. Now, as I say, I've cut everything, and I've inked my edges, and I've scored and folded. This is the outside cover of my folio, and as well as inking the outside, I've inked the two folds inside as well. And with the lining, I've actually cut this into 3 pieces. Now, as I say, you can print this back to back. If you can't or don't want to do that, I would suggest that you cut the 3 pieces along the score lines like I've done here. And the reason for that is that when you're folding, if your lining does not go over the fold, if you've butted it up to the fold, you're going to get a much better fold, and you're not going to get creasing in the middle. Now, you don't have to do that. It's my personal preference. So before I put those pieces on, I have to remember to do this before I put them on. Let's take those off again. I'm going to make a little closure. So I'm going to check that's the way up that I want my folio to go. I've got my design on the outside. Folds nicely. I'm just going to... Gosh, I've lost my bone folder on my desk. Here we go. I'd actually put it away, which is why I couldn't find it. There we go. I'm just going to burnish those down. Now, I have put 2 little pencil marks just here and here where my fingers are. And what I'm going to do is to make a little closure. And these are very simple. I love these closures. I make them a lot. I'm going to choose to use my circles for these. And I'm going to glue. Oh, by the way, if you see me turning pieces over and they've got something on the other side, I've had some struggles with my printer today, and so I reprinted on the other side of my card because I didn't want to waste it. Right, so I'm going to glue, and you'll notice the green fern circles are slightly bigger than the ones with the Ko-Fi flower on. I'm going to glue those together. Oh, that just moved. Bother. Oh. Trying to keep them central. I'm going to glue these together. Now look, you're under no obligation to do the same as I'm doing with this kit. You please feel free to use it in whatever way you want. And I'd actually love to see what you do. If you choose to use it, I'd love to see what you create. And having just figured out my community tab, I'll now be able to see your posts and I'll respond to them. So do please put a photo up and show me what you do. All right, I'm going to just see if I can find the middle of these. And I've got my, I think it's a weeding tool from my Cricut machine or cry cut machine, whatever you care to call them. I'm going to eyeball the middle and put a hole. I'm actually going to put that over the top, and I've just got this little bit of it's foam matting, you know, like outside mats that you buy. It's a little bit of an offcut from that. All right, so I've got a hole hopefully in the center of those two, and now where my pencil marks are, I'm going to put another little hole. Now you could do this with a hole punch if you want to. I'm doing this because I'm using these tiny brads. I'll put those down there and you can see them. They really are, look, that's my little finger. They really are tiny, and I happen to know that my hole punch, the holes tend to be too big. All right, so I'm going to pop my brad through the center and through that hole. Turn it over, flatten it out, and I'm going to do the same with this one. They are tiny, they are a little bit fiddly. Now, so you'll be able to see, now that I've got those on, you'll be able to see where I put them. And again, you can do this just with one if you want to, or you can do a completely different closure. You could put a little Velcro dot or a magnet under there if you wanted to. But I just love this closure, and I thought it used those circles quite nicely. So before I do anything else, I need to grab just a little bit of washi tape and cover the back of those. Now, that's not absolutely necessary because you are going to be sticking a lining over the top. I still like to do it. It kind of encloses those little metal pieces and just stops them kind of cutting into your lining or anything else. Now, the other thing I've done is to pull out some ribbon. I wanted to make this sort of freebie kit so that you didn't really have to add anything much to it if you didn't want to. So really the only things you'll need, other than scissors, glue, maybe a bone folder, maybe some ink. The only other thing you'll need is a couple of brads, a little bit of ribbon or lace or sari silk, and maybe some eyelets. I mean, actually all of those are optional, but those are the things that I will be using in addition to the kit. Now I'm going to choose this nice yellow ribbon. Oh, that end's already done. If you've never seen these closures, they, you know, I'm pretty sure they will become a firm favourite for you because they're so easy. And all I'm doing, I've slipped that ribbon underneath those circles, and this one I'm tying in a knot, and then I'm going to take that end off so that it tucks under the circle. All right, now to form your closure, you go round, you go round, you're done. As your folder gets a bit fatter, your folio gets a bit fatter, you can adjust your ribbon, it doesn't matter. All right, next thing to do, let's get our lining in. And now, for some reason, my paper trimmer this morning made a real kind of dog's breakfast of this. I don't know. The papers had been sitting here overnight. I don't know whether they've absorbed a little bit of moisture from the air. I don't know. Anyway, we're going to go with it. Right, So let's get these stuck in. All right, once that's stuck in, I would suggest just turn it over, check your edges, make sure that you haven't got any overhang. You may have a little bit if you've done it like this, because obviously you've got this tiny gap here and here. If you do have overhang, that's fine. Just trim it off, re-ink your edges, and you're done, basically. All right, so there's your folio. It's going to fold like this and like this. Now it's time to decorate. And entirely up to you. As I say, there are probably enough embellishments here for you to actually do 2 folios. But it depends on your preference and what you like. So what am I going to do? I think I'm going to start off. I'm going to start on this side and I'm going to work this way, I think. So my plan, I'm going to lay them out first, just as a bit of a plan, I think. I quite like these. So you've got multiple sizes of pockets and different designs, so you can kind of play around and do what you like. Do I want a green one there, or do I want a Ko-Fi? Let's have a look. You can also layer the pockets up. That one should fit, yeah, on there. I quite like that. So I might go with that as a layout for my pockets, and then we'll put some tags in afterwards, I think. Right. I mean, you could pop some of, you could design like that, whatever you wanted to do, really. These little tickets, you will find one's designed to go that way and one's designed to go that way, and the same with the ferns. They should be one vertical and one horizontal, like that. I mean, it doesn't really matter, you can use them whichever way you like, but yeah, that's just a little aside, really. Alrighty, I'm going to pop my tui on there, I think. There we go. So why am I so excited about 1,000 subscribers? Well, I'll tell you. And if you watched, which video was it? The one on that came out at the weekend, the interactive journal page one. I think I might have said this there. I never started this channel with any expectations at all. I started it because we live in a really remote location, and it's really hard sometimes to have any kind of well, sort of social life. Maybe that probably doesn't sound quite right, but it's really difficult sometimes to get out and about very much, because not only are we in a remote location, but Mr. Jem and I run our own business from home. We have a tourism accommodation business, and we live on site. So we're sort of tied to the property quite a lot as well, especially in the summer months when we're busy. And I started this channel really because I have such limited opportunities to share my creativity. And I wanted to feel part of a sort of a creative community. So really, those were my reasons for starting my channel. I never expected you guys to like what I did, really. Maybe that says something about my self-esteem. We won't go there. So for me, it was sort of for my own pleasure, really. But what I've also found is that I got so much out of being part of this YouTube community. I really have. And your comments and feedbacks and interactions, they're just amazing. And it really, I do really get a lot of pleasure out of knowing that you're liking what I'm doing, and I'm being able to inspire you to do things too. So yeah, once again, just a really big thank you really to all of you who, you know, like, comment, follow, subscribe, all that stuff. Okay, where do we want this pocket? Oh, go about there. So as I say, you will see from this little kit, there are multiple pockets and labels and pictures and things, so you can do just what you want with it. And I'm going to show you a couple of little added extras towards the end of this video as well. It's quite nice having a bit of colour on the inside, isn't it? Oh dear. I honestly, you know, you think these things are going to be easy. When I didn't think learning the whole design thing was going to be easy, but I thought once I'd sort of got that, you know, I could potentially print it okay. No. Right. Okie doke. So there you go. That's quite simple, isn't it? I've got 4 little pockets and a little design element there. So let's bring in our tags. Now I'm going to use these 3. Now I have backed these because of the printer problems I had. I had some random images on the back, so I've actually backed all of my tags onto some green copy paper. So what have we got? We've got those 3 and these 2. So I've still got another 2 pockets left, one big one, one small one. I don't know whether I'm going to use all of these tags. I do love the tui, is one of my favourite birds, and I'd never seen them until I moved to New Zealand sort of about 20 odd years ago, so they are still just, I find them amazing. Love them. There's this little trick: when you've stuck your pockets down, just gently slide something like a ruler in there, and it just helps to free them up for things to stick in. All right, so I'm going to use that one in the big pocket. Maybe a couple of those in there, and maybe one in there. That fits quite nicely, doesn't it? Oh, or I've got this one. Does that fit in there? No, not quite. Oh, it would do that way. We'll see. You could cut this one down if you wanted to. Don't feel you can't cut things up and change them round. I don't have a problem with that. You know, it's just to spark your creativity, this kit, really. All right, look, I'm going to do these 3 tags. Because I'm 4 tags, sorry, can't even count today. Oh my goodness, I think the nerves are getting a little bit the better of me today. I'm going to, these have already been inked. Oh, I've missed a little bit on there. I'm going to put eyelets and some ribbon in these. I will speed up the video whilst I do that, because obviously you know how to do those things probably. Okay, so those tags are done. Now I just wanted to show you very quickly, what you may have noticed is that I threaded these differently. Now these three are all done the same, and when you're putting the ribbon loop through, you put it through from, so I'm just adjusting this, from the back to the front and then pull your ends through. This one I did the other way round and went from the front to the back and pulled the ends through. Now it's entirely personal preference and it just gives a slightly different look. So I just wanted to show you those. You know, there's no right or wrong. I just wanted to show you that it does just give you a slightly different look. Now you could embellish these further if you wanted to. I'm going to leave them like this. Which one should we put in there? I think we'll pop that one in there because it shows up nicely. And we'll pop these two in here. Now a tree, it would fit in there, but it's going to stick out, I think, quite a bit over the top of our folio. So we maybe won't put that one in there, but we could put our little tickets in there. They can all just pop in there like that. Or as I say, you could cut one of the other tags down to a smaller size to go in there if you wanted to. So there's our basic folio, or that's one idea for the folio. Before we finish up, I want to show you one more thing. And as I say, I've got pockets and things left over as well. One of the things I have left over is this circle in the Ko-Fi picture. Now, what I've done is just from a piece of craft kind of paper, I've cut a circle the same size. And I'm going to fold these two in half. If you've watched one of my recent mass make videos, you'll probably recognize this technique. Now when I've folded my Ko-Fi, I've actually folded it, I've looked at the orientation of the picture and I've folded it top to bottom quite deliberately. Now I'm going to grab a paper clip and I'm going to pop that paper clip on there, roughly in the middle. I'm going to measure, no, I'm just going to eyeball. Right, that's roughly. And I'm going to put glue all the way over. Reasonably strong glue. And I'm going to stick this, I'm going to butt it right up to that fold, like that. Glue the other side, make sure you get a bit in the middle there. Fold that other side over and just give it a little bit of a wiggle so that paper clip is sitting right in that fold. Now as you will see, because I cut those two circles the same size, I've got a little bit of that inside one showing there. So what I'm going to do is just to take my scissors and carefully trim that off. Now you can make a feature of that if you want to by choosing a complementary colour, you know, so if I'd chosen a dark green. It is really difficult to get your circles perfectly lined, and because you're folding them, that inside one is generally going to show. So I'm just going to re-ink the edges here. And I'm going to ink down that centre fold. And what you will then find is to go on the edge of your folio, you have a little clip. It's a little tuck spot, so you can put extra bits and pieces in there as well. Okay, so I mean, you could use, if you backed this, you could use that as a journaling card, and you could perhaps tuck it just under here. I don't know whether that would, it might show, but you know, lots of choices there. You could put this wherever you like. Also, when you're sticking these pockets down, if you don't stick all the edges, you can use those as tuck spots as well and slide things underneath. You could put this on the top or the bottom as well. I'm going to leave it on the side just here for now, and then that's just an extra little tuck spot if I want it. All right, let's see if our folio still does up. It does, there we go. Oh gosh, tuck in that, thank you. There we are, guys, and there is our little Ko-Fi folio. So, a little bit of a thank you, freebie for you. Do let me know if you use it. I will be back later in the week with Creep on June. Yes, so if you were expecting Creep on June today, I'm sorry. We're going to squeeze 3 episodes of Creep on June into 2. So that'll be Friday, Wednesday and Friday this week. So do check back in if you've been following that series. But as I say, I do hope you enjoy the folio. Please feel free to use it. Let me know if there's any problems. Let me know if you enjoyed it. Big thank you to all of you once again. And for now, ka kite anō. See you soon.